Hello, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ellie and I'm part of the public engagement team here at Imperial College London. I'm going to be joined by my wonderful colleague Maeve, and we're going to talk to you today about the different ways Imperial engages with wider society and why we do it, and some opportunities for you guys as students to get involved. If I could have the next slide, please. Wonderful. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in. We'll be covering what societal engagement is, why we do it, how you can get involved, and then we'll be answering your questions. Next slide, please. Lovely. So societal engagement is Imperial's commitment to empowering people through engagement with science, technology, engineering and maths. So as a university, we do a lot of research, as well as teaching, as well as doing your amazing studies, as well as being a world-leading teaching institute. We're also a world-leading research institute, with groundbreaking research being done every day. And why do we do this? We think we do it for the benefit of society, and so that's why we believe it's good for us to engage with wider society. And here are some more reasons about why we do what we do. On the next slide. So we think it's important for society. What we do here at Imperial is not just for the lab or the library or the academic journals. We want to be a responsible force for good. It's also important for Imperial. Engaging with society helps our research be more impactful, and it can actually make a difference. And there's a lovely sentence here that I didn't come up with. Someone wonderful said, "An institution cut off from the world can never hope to change it." And there's so much truth in that. And we're here to change the world and make it a better place. And doing engagement is important for you. It will not only expand your skills or the impact of your research, it's also a lot of fun. Next slide, please. Okay, so there are 4 key themes. We do schools outreach, we engage the local community, we engage the wider public more generally, and we also work closely with patients. So these are some of the options available to you. You might want to be doing some schools outreach. You could be one of our STEM ambassadors with the outreach team. There are paid opportunities and volunteer opportunities as well. And then there's this wonderful opportunity called What the Tech. This is a chance to volunteer with our community engagement team. They've partnered up with community organisations to identify lonely, vulnerable, elderly people in the local community. Previously, this has been a face-to-face series of workshops where elderly people would come in and ask volunteers, Imperial staff and students how to use their tech. So it might be something as simple as downloading WhatsApp and sending a message. It might be sending an email, or it might be accessing the internet. All of these different things that help elderly people stay connected and combat loneliness. This has never been more important than it is now during the pandemic. Elderly people have been cut off more than ever before. So we've now turned What the Tech into a phone befriending service. With the new lockdown, we've had loads of elderly people register saying that they'd really like to have someone to talk to as a friend over the phone, but also to help them with their tech over the phone. So we are quite desperately looking for as many volunteers as possible. So if you want to make a difference and give back to wider society alongside your studies, this is a really rewarding way to do that. So do please sign up. Next slide, please. This is our public engagement programme, and I'm going to hand over to my lovely Maeve, who's going to talk about some of the opportunities available there.
Hello, everybody. I'm Maeve, and I work primarily in the public engagement events bit. So my role at Imperial is public programs assistant producer. So before I get into what all of these awesome events are, just a bit about where it kind of comes from. So Imperial, as Ellie has said, is much more than just a teaching institution. There's so many things going on, and that's something that I didn't know before I started working here. I kind of stumbled across it, and I come from more of a festival events kind of background. So what we try to do with things like public engagement is we want to get the public knowing as much about Imperial as we can. We don't want them to think that we're not just a university, but that we are fun and we do all of this cutting edge science, and all of our students and researchers are very exciting people. And it is important to remember that Imperial has so many researchers doing amazing things. So if you're just starting at Imperial, it's really great to have a little look at the website. You can Imperial search all the different departments that there are. If you're really interested in a particular area of research, there's loads of stuff that you can get involved with. And this is the kind of thing we try to bring out in our public engagement events. So the main one that we do is the Great Exhibition Road Festival. This was born out of the partnerships that we wanted to create within South Kensington, where our campus is. So if you have walked around the area, you might have seen that along Exhibition Road, there are loads of incredible institutions. We have the V&A, we have the Science Museum, the Natural History Museum, we've got the Royal Albert Hall and the Royal College of Music. Everything is at our doorstep. And there's loads more as well that are kind of sneaking around the place. So with the Great Exhibition Road Festival, we wanted Imperial to join with other institutions so that we could bring together art and science, because they both really complement each other. So what we did in 2019, which was our first ever Great Exhibition Road Festival, was we got everyone to bring together all of their amazing content and ideas. We might partner up scientists with artists and create workshops, art installations, music. There's a few pictures on this slide here of when we were allowed to stand next to each other and not be 2 meters apart. We, of course, weren't able to do that in 2020 because of the pandemic, but we did launch an online program called the Great Exhibition Road Festival at Home. And there's lots of information about it on the Imperial website if you look up public engagement, and there's sort of tabs to all of this, or you can specifically look for the Great Exhibition Road Festival. There is a separate website for that. So we do sort of those collaborations. We use a lot of Imperial students as our volunteers, which is really, really fun. You get to be on a site and all of that kind of excitement. It takes you a little bit away from, being in the lab or being in the library, and helps you think about what you're doing in a different way. We also do the Imperial Lates. We also get a lot of volunteers for that. These are evening events targeted at young adults. And when we are open to the public, we would have one evening during the week where we would be open from 6 till 9. We would have a DJ, a bar. There'd be lots of hands-on stuff to do, talks and workshops and things like that. And that's where we get our researchers. We pull them out of their lab and we put them facing the public. And we do a lot of support with researchers and students who want to learn a bit more about how to be engaging with the public. We also do White City activities. So we do have a campus on White City. It's fairly new as campuses go. When we open up to the world again, you should definitely check out a free public tour. It's one of the things that I did when I first started, and it's amazing. It's sort of where lots of new things are happening. They've got this space called the incubator, where there's lots of new startups happening. There's lots of funding available. There are lots of nice spaces there as well. So we're trying to encourage people to kind of walk through the campus and sit down, have a coffee, and chat to people and see what's going on there. And it's also, we're trying to build up more of a connection with with our neighbours there, and this is where a lot of the community outreach happens. We also do, as one example of art and science collaborations, we had a poet in residence, which you might think is not a thing that universities do, particularly a university that is focused on science. But we had our poet in residence connect with our researchers and do some really awesome engagement. This was mostly online. We did Twitter takeovers, and we're just getting researchers to write sort of science poetry and also get the public to contribute to that as well. So there's lots of different ways to get science out there and get people interested in science who might think that they're not actually interested. And this is a lot of what these events do. It's trying to break that barrier down to think that science is only for a particular group of people. So you can check out all of these things. This is just a bit of a snapshot, particularly with the art and science collaborations. We have a massive database of artists, which we always put researchers in touch with if there's something they want to do a little bit outside the box. And we also have all of those partners on Great Exhibition Road. And so we just public engagement, we have this network of people, and we can connect you all, and that's a lot of what we do. We're the socialites of Imperial College. Right, Ellie, back to you for the Horizons module.
Hello, yes. So thank you, Maeve. There are so many opportunities for you guys to get involved. Obviously, a lot more once we're back to face-to-face activities, which I can't wait for. One other way you can get involved is by actually doing one of our Horizons modules. So we run this for second year students. So if you're thinking about doing something a little bit different next year, this is a really great module to take on. You get to learn about public engagement and why engagement with science is important for society, and how it sort of helps the relationship between science and society be harmonious, which means that we can all together build a better world. So some really interesting work around that. Plus, you get the opportunity to get a little bit hands-on, where you can create an activity yourself to involve and inspire the public with research in some way. So you might design an activity that gets delivered at the Great Exhibition Road Festival. You might even get to work with one of our partner organisations like the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum, the V&A, or you might run an event at one of our late events, which is again really, really exciting. So yeah, a wonderful module. Definitely would recommend. Yeah, do check it out and sign up. Next slide, please. And finally, our newsletter. So every month we release a newsletter that tells you about all the best opportunities to get involved with societal engagement and the community, and any funding opportunities as well. You know, you're Imperial students, you're here because you're really clever, you're probably very innovative. And so we think that you guys are going to have amazing ideas about how you can better engage society with research. So we're here to fund any of your ideas that you might have and help in any way, like through training opportunities, and lots of wonderful volunteering opportunities as well. So yeah, if you hold your phones up and give the barcode a scan, that should take you through to our sign up page where you can sign up for the newsletter. And I do believe that is everything from us. You can also see our website there. Oh, no, not that page. Sorry, if you go back, lovely there. That's the end.
One thing that would be really good to mention, because I know that we don't have many questions that have come in at the moment, but we want to let you know as much as possible. Sometimes people can be afraid to ask us things. One thing that's really important to know is that the societal engagement team have seed funds and lots of opportunities for you to make your ideas happen. So if you sign up to our newsletter, which Ellie showed you just before. And if you missed that, go onto the Imperial website and look for societal engagement and sign up to that. That's where we'll put all of our opportunities about things that you can apply for. And that's where the volunteering roles will come up. If there's any research that you can get involved in, and if there are pots of money that we can give you so that you can do amazing things. And as Ellie said, you are here at Imperial because you're brilliant and you'll have loads of ideas, and we want to help you make those a reality. And the societal engagement and public engagement team are here as well to support you in whatever way we can. So you can email us, you can find us on Twitter. I think Ellie knows a bit better what all of those handles are. Ellie is our communications extraordinaire. She manages all the social media. She's one of the cooler people in the team. Ellie, I don't know if you can tell people what those handles are, or the best way to get in touch with us.
Yep, I certainly can. So do give us a follow on Twitter at Imperial Spark, and then do also follow our festival accounts on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. That would be at XEXRD Fest, short for X Road Festival. So yeah, look forward to seeing you on social and connecting at some point.
Great. And